The holidays are the perfect time to finally sit down and play something great. More free time, fewer distractions, and a bunch of games that are actually worth getting into. Here are the top 20 games that are absolutely worth playing this holiday. This is one of those games you boot up when you've got real free time and nothing pulling you away. Black Myth Wukong is very combat-driven, and it wants your attention from the first fight. Every enemy hits hard, bosses punish mistakes, and you actually have to learn how things work instead of rushing through. What makes it great for the holiday break is the pacing. You play for an hour or two, make solid progress, then stop without feeling lost when you come back later. There's no overload of side systems or busy work. It's mostly about moving forward, learning new fights, and getting better with each area. It also just feels good to play. Attacks have weight, dodging feels responsive, and boss fights give you that, okay, one more try, feeling. If you're looking for a holiday game that keeps you locked in without wasting your time, this one fits perfectly. Sometimes during the holidays, you don't want a game that stresses you out. You just want something you can enjoy, make steady progress in, and actually relax with. That's where Kena, Bridge of Spirits fits really well. The game mixes exploration, light puzzles, and combat in a way that never feels overwhelming. You're moving through colorful areas, helping characters along the way, and getting into fights that are easy to understand but still satisfying. It keeps things simple without feeling shallow. It's also perfect for short or long sessions. You can play for 30 minutes or sink in for a few hours and it still feels good either way. If you take a break for a day or two, coming back is easy. Everything feels familiar fast. For a holiday game that's smooth, comforting, and genuinely fun to play, Kena is an easy recommendation.
Here. You pretend to care for these spirits, but really, you only serve yourself.
If you've got a few days off and want a game you can slowly sink into, Rise of the Ronin is a solid choice. It gives you a lot of room to play your way, whether that's sticking to the main missions or just wandering around and picking fights. Combat feels very hands-on. You're not just reacting, you're making choices in real time. Switching styles, reading enemy moves, and staying aggressive all matter. It can be tough at first, but once it clicks, fights start to feel really satisfying instead of frustrating. What makes it work well for a holiday break is the freedom. You can play for an hour, make progress, and stop. Or you can lose an entire afternoon without realizing it. Either way, the game keeps moving at your pace, which is exactly what you want when you finally have time to enjoy it. Some games are perfect for chilling, and then there are games you boot up when you want your reflexes tested. Ninja Gaiden 4 clearly into the second category. From the moment combat starts, it's fast, aggressive, and unforgiving if you lose focus for even a second. The holiday break actually makes this a better experience. You finally have time to fail, learn enemy patterns, and slowly get cleaner with your movement and attacks. Every fight demands input. Dodging, positioning, and timing all matter. And when things click, it feels incredibly satisfying. What's nice here is how direct the game feels. No massive map to manage, no distractions. You jump in, fight hard, improve, and move on. If you're looking for a holiday game that keeps your hands busy and your brain locked in, Ninja Gaiden 4 is exactly that kind of game.
You truly think you have what it takes to slay the Dark Dragon? Prove it.
The very fiend that resurrected the Dark Dragon years ago. Even a mortal such as yourself has heard of me? I'm sure. Die, insect!
Dynasty Warriors 9 starts off a little different from what the series used to be. Instead of short stages, you're dropped into a big open map where you can move freely and take things at your own pace. It's the kind of setup that works really well when you've got extra free time. The combat is still all about wiping out huge groups of enemies and feeling overpowered. You can jump into fights whenever you want, ride across the map, or just mess around clearing camps without worrying too much about perfect timing or strategy. What makes it nice for a holiday playthrough is how relaxed it feels. You can play for 10 minutes or lose a few hours without even noticing. It's not trying to rush you, and that makes it easy to enjoy when you just want something simple, long, and familiar to sink into.
Go forth and learn what it means to be a hero.
You claim to strive for justice, but have no way to achieve it. Tearing down the system without providing an alternative is mere wanton destruction.
Tokyo without people is already weird, and GhostWire Tokyo leans fully into that feeling. You're walking through empty streets while something clearly isn't right around every corner. The gameplay keeps things simple and smooth. Combat is built around hand gestures that feel different from typical shooters, and fights stay readable without getting overwhelming. You're clearing areas, picking up abilities, and moving forward at a steady pace that feels easy to stick with during a long break. What really makes this work as a holiday game is the freedom to slow down. You can spend time exploring side activities, collecting things around the city, or just following the main story when you're in the mood. For the holidays, when you want something stylish, calm, and different from the usual action-heavy games, GhostWire Tokyo fits that spot really well.
Salvation. The time is nigh. The world rests on the precipice of transformation. A new age will dawn.
This game fits perfectly when you've got a long holiday break and want something you can really dig into. Lords of the Fallen is tough, slow-paced, and very deliberate. Every fight asks you to stay focused, manage your stamina, and think before swinging. Rushing almost always gets you killed. What keeps it engaging is the way progress feels earned. You move through dark, connected areas, unlock shortcuts, and slowly build a character that starts to feel stronger over time. Death happens a lot, but it usually pushes you to adjust instead of giving up. The dual world system is where things get interesting. Flipping between realms can completely change how an area feels and keeps exploration from getting stale. If you've got a long holiday and want a game that rewards patience and focus, Lords of the Fallen is a great way to spend that time.
Of a god! Kneel before me and beg
Holiday gaming doesn't always have to be loud or intense. Sometimes it's about slowing things down and enjoying a game at your own pace. And Digimon Storytime Stranger leans hard into that idea. This one is more about building a team and watching it grow over time. You're collecting Digimon, figuring out evolutions, and tweaking your lineup to see what works best. Battles aren't rushed, and that makes it easy to sit back and think through your moves instead of reacting on instinct. The time travel story adds a nice hook without getting in the way. You move between different moments, meet familiar Digimon in new situations, and gradually piece everything together. It's easy to pick up, easy to pause, and easy to come back to later. For a holiday break game that feels chill and rewarding without demanding too much, this one fits perfectly.
Seek comrades willing to face destiny beside you. The time of the world's end draws near. When all the clock's lamps are lit, the truth shall be revealed. A story about the natural laws of the world is about to begin.
Routine is the kind of horror game that keeps you uneasy without constantly throwing scares at you. A lot of the time, you're just moving through empty hallways, checking rooms, and second-guessing every sound you hear. Nothing feels safe, even when nothing is happening. What really sells it is the setting. An abandoned space station should feel quiet, but here that silence works against you. You're always waiting for something to move or make noise, and that tension never really goes away. You're not some overpowered character either. The game wants you to be careful, not brave. It's a solid holiday pick if you like playing at night and taking things slow. You can explore for a bit, stop when it gets too intense, then jump back in later without feeling lost. If you're into slow-burn horror that trusts atmosphere more than action, Routine is absolutely worth checking out.
One final step.
Can it? Take care of myself!
How many close calls have we had?
I get into trouble down there. You make every shot count.
I got this.
Hope you know how to use that thing.
I've had some practice.
Having a few days off makes games like this hit different. The Last of Us Part 1 is best enjoyed when you're not rushing and you can actually sit down and take it in. It moves at a steady pace and gives you time to breathe between intense moments. The gameplay leans into tension more than action. Ammo is limited, enemies are dangerous, and every encounter feels deliberate. Sometimes sneaking past a fight is the smarter move. Other times things fall apart and you just deal with it. That back and forth keeps the experience grounded and engaging. It's also easy to play in chunks. A short session still feels meaningful, and longer sessions pull you deeper without burning you out. For a holiday break, when you want a game that feels focused, polished, and worth your time, The Last of Us Part 1 is an easy pick. Split Fiction is all about playing together, not just sitting on the same couch. This game is built around co-op, and it really leans into that idea. Every section asks both players to communicate, react, and solve problems at the same time. You can't just carry the other person through it. What's fun here is how often things change. One moment you're dealing with platforming, then it suddenly shifts into something completely different. New mechanics show up, get explored, and then move on before they get boring. It keeps the experience fresh the whole way through. During a holiday break, this is the kind of game that works perfectly if you're playing with a friend or family member. It's not too long, it's easy to jump into, and it creates a lot of, "Wait, did you see that?" moments. If you want a shared experience instead of a solo grind, this one really hits the mark.
Follow my lead. Are you for real, Zoe? I wrote it when I was a kid. What sort of double child were you? What now?
I did not sign up for this! Brace yourself, Zoe!
You want the truth? All the lives inside me tell me to let go. What will I become?
Senua's Saga Hellblade II feels more like an experience than a typical action game. From the first minutes, it's clear this one wants you to slow down and really pay attention. The camera stays close, the sound design is intense, and everything is built to keep you locked into Senua's point of view. The combat is more grounded and heavier than before. You're not fighting huge crowds. Instead, each encounter feels personal and tense, where timing and awareness matter more than flashy moves. It keeps things focused and controlled instead of chaotic. This is a great holiday game if you want something cinematic and easy to play in shorter sessions. You can jump in, play for a bit, and walk away thinking about it afterward. Headphones make a big difference here, and if you're into story-driven games that feel serious and immersive, this one really stands out. Lies of P is one of those games that pulls you in faster than you expect. At first, it looks like a classic Souls-style setup, but once you start playing, it feels way more approachable than you'd think. The controls are tight, the movement feels good, and everything responds cleanly. The combat is all about timing and learning patterns, but it doesn't feel unfair. You slowly figure out when to block, when to dodge, and when to go in. The weapon system is also fun to mess with since you can mix different blades and handles to fit your playstyle. This is a really solid holiday game if you want something challenging without being exhausting. You can play in short sessions, make real progress, then come back later feeling sharper. It's the kind of game that quietly hooks you and doesn't let go once it clicks.
You're not the puppet I was expecting. Who are you?
She was looking for someone. Legendary. She stepped up only because no one else could. Too many stalkers were lost to that evil.
I'll do whatever it takes. Your survival is all that matters. Nothing else comes close, not even my life. I swear I won't be late.
Down. There are things I must set right.
Why is this so important to you?
Oh, Ada. What to do with you?
Luis, the goodbye's gonna have to wait.
I'll make it cheap for you. Move! Is it always like this with you? How about you? Ahead! You're kidding.
Ah, yes, the time has come.
Like I told you. I'm gonna get you home safe. I'm ready to die, rookie.
Exalt all, Leon, and let it be so.
This time, it has to be different.
Resident Evil 4 Remake takes a familiar game and makes it feel surprisingly fresh again. From the start, it's more grounded and tighter, with movement and combat that feel way smoother than the original. Everything reacts faster, and fights feel more controlled without losing that tense pressure. What really stands out is how balanced it feels during long play sessions. You can push through story sections, upgrade weapons, manage your inventory, then take a break without losing momentum. It's structured in a way that makes just one more chapter very hard to resist. For a holiday playthrough, this one hits a sweet spot. It's focused, polished, and constantly throwing new situations at you so things never drag. Whether you're replaying it or jumping in for the first time, it's an easy game to sink hours into without getting burned out. Metal Gear Solid 5: The Phantom Pain is one of those games where you boot it up just to play a bit, and suddenly an hour's gone. It gives you a huge open space and basically says, figure it out your way. You can sneak around, go loud, call in support, or try something weird just to see if it works. What really makes it fun during a holiday break is how flexible it is. You don't need to commit to long story sessions. You can do one mission, mess with your base, test new gear, then hop out whenever you want. It never feels like you're wasting time. The controls feel smooth, the systems run deep, and the game rewards creativity more than raw skill. If you like experimenting, planning, and slowly getting better at your own pace, this is the kind of game that quietly eats up your free time without feeling tiring. Returnal is the kind of game that really asks for your full attention. From the moment you land on the planet, everything moves fast. You're constantly dodging, jumping, and shooting, and standing still for even a second can get you wiped out. It feels more like a rhythm game with guns than a typical shooter. What makes it interesting is the loop. Every run resets the world, but you slowly learn the enemies, the weapons, and how the combat flows. Even when a run ends badly, it never feels like wasted time. You unlock new tools, shortcuts, and abilities that make the next attempt feel more manageable. That sense of progress keeps pulling you back in. It's also a great holiday game if you want something immersive and focused. You can jump in for a quick run or end up playing way longer than planned.
Found a technology I've never encountered before. Hidden deep below the surface. With each rush upon us, it leaves a fresh scar behind. No matter how hard we fight, we can never stop it. We alone must find meaning amidst the flow. Creating our own fate. Finding our own answers.
Sleep Awake slowly pulls you into a story about a world where sleep and reality don't fully line up anymore. You play as someone trying to understand what's happening as people start slipping into strange, shared dreams that feel a little too real. As you move through different locations, things start to feel more personal. The spaces change, memories blur, and you begin to question what's real and what isn't. It's less about solving puzzles fast and more about paying attention to the mood and the meaning behind what you're seeing. For a holiday playthrough, this works great if you want something slower and more thoughtful. You can take your time, play in short sessions, and let the story slowly sink in. It's not loud or busy, but it sticks with you, especially if you enjoy games that tell their story in a quiet, indirect way.
This is all perfectly natural.
Give me your idea.
Clair Obscur Expedition 33 feels like one of those games that immediately stands out once you understand its setup. The story centers around a world where people literally have an expiration number, and every year a mysterious figure erases everyone who reaches that number. Gameplay-wise, it mixes turn-based combat with real-time timing elements, so you're not just picking attacks and waiting. You actually have to react, dodge, and time inputs, which keeps fights feeling active instead of slow. It's strategic but still approachable, especially once you get used to the rhythm. What makes this a great holiday game is how focused and story-driven it is. You can sit down, play a chapter, and feel like you made real progress. The world is stylish, the characters feel intentional, and the tone stays serious without being heavy all the time.
Is this true? Maya's with him. We need to go, now! Who are you?
I know it seems absurd to offer oblivion as recompense, but
Sekiro, Shadows Die Twice, is the kind of game that asks you to really lock in, but once it clicks, it feels incredibly satisfying. Instead of leveling up stats or overgearing enemies, everything comes down to timing, reactions, and learning how fights actually work. Blocking, deflecting, and staying aggressive matter way more than playing it safe. The combat has a rhythm to it. Once you start reading enemy moves, fights feel almost like a back-and-forth duel instead of a typical action game. Every win feels earned, and every loss teaches you something useful for the next attempt. It can be tough at first, but the learning curve is part of the fun. It's not a game you rush through, but one that rewards patience and commitment. If you enjoy mastering systems and seeing real improvement, Sekiro is extremely satisfying to spend time with.
what's the matter, Stray? Nothing left to lose?
Elden Ring gives you freedom in a way very few games do. From the moment you step into the world, you're free to go wherever you want, fight what you want, or just wander and see what you stumble into. There's no pressure to follow one path, and that's what makes it so easy to lose hours without even realizing it. Combat feels familiar if you've played other From Software games, but the open world changes everything. If something feels too hard, you can leave, explore somewhere else, level up, or find new gear. For a holiday break, this game works perfectly because you control the pace. You can play seriously and push progress, or just explore and mess around at your own speed. It's deep, challenging, and surprisingly flexible, making it one of those games you can live in for days when you finally have the time.
Be born.
Well, a lowly tarnished, playing as a lord. I command thee now.
branding.